I'm Wally Burns. I'm the mayor of the city of Southside and also the president of our league. And it's great to see all of you here this morning, and it's a pleasure for me to be here as we honor these graduating classes. First of all, I want to congratulate each one of you for receiving your certification for the Certified Municipal Officials program and also the Advanced Certified Municipals program. It takes several hours to complete these programs, and that's a lot of time away from your family and also your community. And I just want to thank you for your dedication to the office that you hold, dedication to your community, and also the dedication to your league. I know this is going to be said probably a little later on, but this is the 20th year of our CMO program, and it seems like it's getting stronger as we go, and that's contributed to the dedication of you and all the ones that were behind you in the other graduating classes, and we just appreciate it, your support, and for our league staff that makes this possible. We have some more CMO sessions coming up in the fall, and they're going to be a little different from what we've had in the past. We're going to try a little something different, and you'll hear a little more about that a little later on. But currently, we have almost 4,000 elected officials enrolled in our CMO program.
I'm Ken Smith. I'm the Executive Director for the League of Municipalities, and it's my honor to be here with you this morning to recognize your achievement in completing either the basic or the advanced program for the certified municipal officials. This is a program we're extremely proud of at the League. And this time, during this year, the CMO program turns 20 years old. We've been celebrating this achievement all year by highlighting the anniversary at training sessions, at our annual convention, and in our League publications. On the 20th anniversary date this year, September 22nd, we will mark that event by holding another training session in South Alabama. 20 years ago, on September 22nd, we held the very first CMO training in Mobile, I believe at the Adams Mark Hotel at that particular point. Now we're using the city of Loxley as our South Alabama site. So we'll be returning to South Alabama to celebrate the actual day of training for when the CMO program actually kicked off. We have a program that has a very, very rich history that you're now a very important part of. With this graduating class, 1,094 officials have received the designation of Certified Municipal Official, and 535 have received the designation of Advanced Certified Municipal Official. We're proud to welcome you and your guests to this ceremony, and welcome those of you who are achieving this event into the fold of those who are graduates, and will from this point forward be known as CMO, Certified Municipal Officials. I personally want to thank each and every one of you for participating in the League of Municipalities Certified Municipal Officials program, and I hope you feel the same sense of pride I do every time I look out at one of our graduating classes. You're participating in a program that's designed to make you a better official. The intent of this training program is to prepare you for real-world situations that you're likely to face as an elected municipal official. Topics are carefully selected by our legal team and our CMO coordinator, Cindy Price, and the rest of our staff to address questions that we most commonly receive from our members. We select our training locations so that we can allow as many members as possible to attend these training events. After all, the purpose of this program is not to produce graduates. The purpose is to have better trained officials representing their citizens. As successful as the program is, we're always seeking ways to expand and improve it. We plan to make changes that will make you even prouder of your achievement and your designation from this point forward as a CMO graduate. In the past, the CMO program has always been assigned to a staff member. Cindy Price is currently doing it. We're currently examining different ways that we can change the staff structure a little bit to help improve the program, making sure that we're providing appropriate training for those of you who are participating in it. Another change we made was this summer. This summer we held 2 training sessions on Saturdays. Now, those of you who may go back to the very beginning of the CMO session, I think that may include me and Perry, maybe the only 2 people in here that go back that far, We originally had training sessions on Saturdays, and they were some of our most well-attended events, but somehow over the years that kind of fell by the wayside. We decided to try adding those back in this summer and held 2 training sessions that were extremely well attended. If you were at one of those sessions, you know what I'm talking about. We held those at the league headquarters, which was something else we've never done before. And I hope each of you were proud of the building that you have provided for us to work in and enjoyed those sessions. Almost 120 officials, many of whom have never attended a league event before, attended one of those training sessions. This allowed folks who have to work during the weeks, who have jobs and family commitments, to attend training sessions they otherwise might not have been able to attend. We're also considering supplementing the newly elected officials orientation session that we hold every 4 years by adding an annual orientation event. We've had a number of requests this year from officials to reorient them or for those who have been in off-year elections or who have filled vacancies for a new orientation session. So we're looking at the idea of having a scaled back orientation program to help train those officials as well. As Mayor Burns mentioned a few minutes ago, this summer we're actually running a pilot program in a couple of locations around the state. Lori and I attended a training session for officials in Bology a year or so back, and we really weren't sure exactly what to expect when we walked into the training session over there. We thought we might walk into a meeting where there might be 5 or 6 officials. Instead, we walked into a meeting, I guess there were 45 or 50 people in the room, a lot of whom we have never met before, a lot of people we had never seen before. During that meeting, we were told over and over again, if we had known how good league training was, we'd have been coming a lot sooner. So we want to try to find a way to reach out to those folks who don't know the league, aren't familiar with us, and kind of introduce ourselves to them. So the pilot program we're checking out to see if it's feasible, to see if we can actually do training in some areas where we've never been to before. We're looking this summer at going to Florence and Southside as our 2 training sessions and see just how much pressure that is on the staff to get some of these things done, as well as see how well attendance is, and hopefully those will be successful. We've also had several officials ask us about webinars and other means of electronic training. Now, I personally am not a big fan of the electronic training because it's very difficult to validate the fact that you're in the room and listening to the training. And I know from my own experience at the webinars and electronic sessions I've attended how easy it is to suddenly see the emails piling up, how easy it is to suddenly have a family obligation to start pulling you away, or some work that comes in and suddenly you find your focus moving away from the training that you're supposed to be listening to. And when you do fail to pay attention to it, you're shortchanging yourself and the constituents who are putting you at the training session. Believe it or not, we generally know at an on-site session whether you're in the room or not. Of course, you can still sit in a room and not focus on the speaker. You can answer emails on your phone or wander into the hallway for some reason. But there's a certain amount of peer pressure that goes along with knowing your fellow officials are still in the room, or that a speaker is standing at the front of the room watching you while you walk out of that room. So while we're going to explore the electronic training, in my opinion, it should never be done as a substitute for other types of CMO training. But we will look at ways to supplement what we do and provide a broader range of training to our officials. Finally, due to the many requests we've received from officials, we were looking at the idea of even adding another level of CMO training to go beyond the advanced program. A number of you have raised that idea with us, and we're looking at the idea of see how feasible that is and whether it's something we can actually provide another level of continuing education for those who are interested in broadening your scope and training. In other words, while we're extremely proud of the program we've built and the success we've had, we aren't content to rest on our achievements. We constantly seek to improve our training content and to find ways to make this material more accessible to our officials. Whether you're receiving your certification in the basic program or the advanced program, I hope today you are very proud of what you've accomplished and very proud of the program that we've put together for you. Thank you for participating in this program, and congratulations on your accomplishment. I hope you're justifiably proud of yourselves and that your family, friends, and constituents will recognize you for making this effort to improve yourself and your community. At this time, I'd like to call to your attention a pin that you received this morning. You should have gotten it when you registered. Please take that out of the envelope at this time. The Alabama League of Municipalities is pleased to recognize your accomplishments in the Certified Municipal Officials Program You've completed either 40 or 80 hours of formal, voluntary, continuing education and have earned the professional designation of CMO or Advanced CMO, which sets you apart from other elected officials. Wearing this pin signifies public recognition of your accomplishment, and we hope you'll wear it with pride. This is not the end of your training as an elected official. This is the foundation upon which your future and municipal government will grow. Today, we acknowledge and congratulate 41 basic CMO graduates and 32 advanced CMO graduates. Mayors and council members, at this time, please place the CMO or advanced CMO pin on your lapel. I'm now honored to be able to call on the man whose vision developed this program, our former executive director, Perry Rockmore. He will deliver our commencement address for this momentous occasion. Perry, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you for being here again, and thank you very much for your accomplishment.
I want to welcome from myself the 2014 graduates of the League's basic and advanced CMO classes and your families. You've worked hard to get to this day, and I want to personally congratulate each and every one of you. I also want to thank you for your dedication and hard work. It's not easy to get 40 hours of credit hours of basic CMO or 80 credit hours for advanced CMO recognition. As elected municipal officials, you have plenty of other important things to do in addition to your job as a public officer. It requires daily attention for that, but not only that, you have many responsibilities to your families. So everyone in this audience should be applauded. The officials for their hard work and the families for their support in helping the officials reach those CMO goals. I want to thank Ken and Cindy for asking me back today to give the commencement address. This is a special day, as Ken mentioned, for the League CMO program, as this graduation program is being held during the program's 20th year. I'm thankful that I've been able to participate in each CMO graduation ceremony since the program began. When they invited me to speak today, they asked if I would include a few remarks about the history of the League training programs, how this all came about. Even though I've been associated with the League for 40 years now, to tell the story of the League's training efforts, you have to go back to the beginning of the League in 1935, when about 100 municipal officials met in Montgomery right down the street to discuss the need for an organization to represent the cities and towns and the common interest of municipal officials and municipalities they were elected to serve. Out of these decisions, the Alabama League of Municipalities was born. A young mayor from the city of Jasper, Alabama, John G. Burton, was elected to serve as the League's first president. A constitution was adopted by the membership to serve as a framework for the new organization. Among other things, the League Constitution set forth a list of purposes of the League. High on that list was a statement calling for the League to promote programs to educate municipal officials and employees on ways to better serve their communities. President Burton was instrumental in establishing some early training programs for municipal personnel. Through the years, the League, in cooperation with the University of Alabama, Auburn University, UNA, Jacksonville State, and other institutions of higher learning, co-sponsored hundreds of education programs for municipal officials and employees. Several decades ago, continuing education programs were established for certain segments of your municipal workforce. The League co-sponsors continuing education programs for municipal clerks, municipal managers and administrators, municipal revenue officers, municipal court clerks and magistrates, municipal personnel officers, municipal planning and zoning officials, municipal judges, and municipal attorneys. Several of these groups even have certification programs available for their members. The League has historically provided educational courses for elected officials at the annual meeting and the orientation conference for newly elected officials, and periodically held a special seminar for elected officials on a certain topic. However, until this program was established, there was no regular, recurring, continuing education program for elected municipal officials in Alabama. In fact, there was only one such program in the entire United States. For years, I felt that an education program for the elected municipal officials could prove to be an important component of the League's mission. When I became executive director in 1986, I began to look for an opportunity to institute an elected officials education training program. The idea was placed on the back burner because the League at that time was heavily involved in two other very important projects. One, the creation of the Alabama Municipal Insurance Corporation, and the other, the renovation and expansion of our League headquarters building. Once those endeavors were completed, the time appeared right to present to the League's Executive Committee for discussion the possible idea of an education program for elected municipal officials. In early 1994, the Executive Committee unanimously voted to appoint a subcommittee to study the feasibility of establishing a certification program for elected municipal officials. The League president at the time, Mayor Eddie Frost of Florence, appointed a subcommittee chaired by Montgomery Council member Elise Reynolds. The first meeting of the subcommittee was held at the League on February 7, 1994. Ms. Reynolds, Mayor Frost, former Mayor Sue Glidewell of Rainbow City, and Mayor Johnny Ford of Tuskegee were in attendance. Materials were provided to each member on the other educational programs offered across the country. Further discussions were made, and the subcommittee made a recommendation to the Executive Committee. First, the program should be voluntary and open to all elected municipal officials. Second, the program should be operated by the League with assistance as needed being supplied by universities and agencies within the state. Third, the program should require a minimum of 40 credit hours of training. Several regional training programs should be offered at 4 sites throughout the state. And fifth, costs should be kept at a minimum. Sixth, completion of the 40 hours of training would result in the award of the designation of certified municipal official, and this designation be awarded annually at the League convention to successful participants. 7, some credit could also be earned through participation of programs and on committees of the League and the National League of Cities and through attendance at other approved courses. And 8, a survey should be sent to all elected municipal officials at the time to determine whether there was interest to establish this program and receive input as to what it should cost, where we should hold the training sessions, and so forth. By March 1 of 1994, the League had received 600 replies to the survey. Respondents were mayors and council members from large cities, from small cities, from every region in the state. Some respondents were longtime veterans while others were first-termers. However, the surveys revealed a common trend. Approximately 88% of the respondents expressed interest in attending a training session designed for their needs. Surveys told us that 2 regional sessions per year were desired, and the session should be held in Huntsville, Montgomery, Birmingham, and Mobile. A number of subjects for teaching classes was also recommended. The subcommittee then recommended to the League's Executive Committee that they implement such a program. The Executive Committee agreed and approved the program at a meeting in July 1994. Our program was only the second elected municipal officials training program in the country. Today, due to the success of our program, a number of other state leagues have adopted similar programs. As Ken mentioned earlier, the first session was held September 22nd, 1994, at the Adams Mark Hotel in Mobile. The same program was offered again in early to mid-October in Birmingham, Montgomery, and Huntsville. Nearly 200 officials enrolled in the program during this first set of sessions. 2 years later, in 1996, we held our first basic CMO graduation ceremony with a commencement address given by our State Representative Bill Dukes, former mayor of Decatur and former president of the League. Bill continued to give our commencement address up until a few years ago. In 1996, after the first graduating class, there was such a clamor for more training, the League added the advanced CMO program for those officials who had received the basic and wanted to get additional training. In June 1999, we held a graduation ceremony for the first class of the advanced certified municipal officials, and then the continuing component was added. Subjects that have been taught over these years include council meeting procedure, rules of parliamentary procedure, the Alabama Open Meetings Law, public records law, ordinance drafting, powers of municipalities, ethics laws, conflict of interest laws, the duties of mayors and council members, tort liability, annexation, zoning, planning, subdivision regulation, municipal revenues and expenditures, the bid law, personnel issues, insurance issues, regulatory powers, and many other subjects over the course of the last 20 years. I think as already mentioned today, as of today, over 4,061 elected municipal officials have voluntarily enrolled to give their time to be in this program and have attended at least one course. We've had 1,053 basic graduates and 503 advanced graduates. I'm happy to announce today that 41 municipal officials will be added to that number of basic graduates, and 33 municipal officials will receive the CMO or the advanced CMO certification. I want to personally congratulate each of you for your efforts in reaching this goal. It required a lot of hard work and a lot of your time to accomplish completion of this program. Your constituents should be proud to have officials such as you guiding their municipalities. Over 2,800 mayors and council members are elected by the voters of Alabama to run the 460 plus municipalities of this state. Why do they or you voluntarily run for office and, if elected, serve the people of your community? First question I'd ask, do you run for the money? I hear the laughter. I guarantee you every elected official and family member of an elected municipal official seated in this room can answer that question in a hurry. There's no way a municipal official receives a paycheck adequately compensating them monetarily for the job they've taken on. As I said earlier, the average municipal official has a regular job and a family to take care of. This in itself is a pretty full-time job. When a mayor or council member takes the oath of office, they agree to take on the responsibilities of an acquired family composed of the citizens of their municipality on a 24/7 basis. Do you run for the popularity? Mayor and council members are well known in their communities. A municipal official can't go to work, go to the bank, go to the grocery store, the hospital, a drugstore, or church without realizing that fact. Citizens know where you live. They know your phone number. As a public official, you want to be able to help everyone in the community. This would make you so popular. But that goal rapidly disappears soon after you assume office. You realize quickly you can't solve everyone's problem. First, state law may not allow you to do what the citizens are asking you to do. Second, the municipal treasury may not have the funds necessary to pay for doing those things. And third, the request may just simply be improper. In my opinion, if you can please 70% of the citizens, you're doing a dang good job. Do you run for the knowledge you obtain about your municipality and its people? You learn a lot. You know where every pothole is located. If you don't, somebody's going to call you and tell you. You know whose dog's running loose. You know when the utility services are disrupted, and you know when someone's trash was not picked up. And those are just a few of the basic knowledge pieces that you pick up in being a city official. You also learn that out on the streets there are many who, without ever serving in public office, know how to do your job much better with less funds. They'll tell you they do. It's always been amusing to me to see candidates come along on a platform of changing the world. It's time for a change. In many instances, these same people, if they're successful in their campaign, will completely change their outlook in the first few weeks serving in office. Do you run for the thanks and appreciation you get for the job well done? We all know how that works. There are many more that criticize than those who give thanks and appreciate your efforts. The articles in the press they're not always great. Trouble sells more newspapers, gets more TV time than the positives. So why then do you run? Why did you want to take on these awesome responsibilities with so little appreciation and compensation? In my opinion, the answer is simple. You love your city or town. You want to give back to your community. In most cases, you grew up in that community and want to make it better. I know this is especially true for these graduates sitting in this room today. You voluntarily spent many hours of time and money attending courses in this program. Why? You wanted to learn more how to do your job better. You wanted to have better tools in your arsenal for dealing with those duties that come upon you as an elected official. You had a desire to become a strong leader in your community because strong leaders usually produce great results. Carl New, president of New & Company, is also a former council member of Lakewood, Colorado. In an article that was printed in the Texas League magazine back in 2010, he said that effective leaders and stewards, especially at the local level, must learn, exhibit, and master at least the following 7 attributes. Number 1, leaders engage people and their energies rather than give them ready answers and quick fix solutions. Number 2, leaders inspire themselves and others to their very best efforts. Number 3, leaders focus on the future and get agreement on common vision, goals, priorities, and direction. Number 4, leaders empower and support rather than control and direct people toward achieving desired outcomes. Number 5, leaders engender a perspective of we and partnership. Number 6, leaders are principal persons possessing moral behavior, character, values, and integrity. And number 7, leaders promote mutual respect and civility in all relationships. All these essential elements, according to Mr. New, can be preserved even in instances of controversy and disagreement by discussing the issues rather than attacking and belittling those with whom we disagree or whose opinions differ from ours. He spoke of the 7 essential attributes of good leadership. Similarly, in 2008, Dorothy Burton, a professional speaker, writer, and council member from Duncanville, Texas, spoke to the Maine Municipal Association on the 7 sins of leadership. She listed those as follows. The first sin of leadership is the mother of them all, arrogance. People admire confidence, but not cockiness. The second sin of leadership is foregoing purpose for popularity. No one can be all things to all people. Your purpose should never be about you, but always about those you serve. Third, the third sin of leadership is ignoring your core or your conscience. The depth of our conscience determines our character. The fourth sin of leadership is lying. While lies are cheap, the maintenance and embarrassing aftermath are so very costly. The fifth sin of leadership is ruling out the rules. Follow the rules. Don't bend them. Don't break them, and don't cover for those who do. The sixth sin of leadership is underestimating risk. When confronted with a situation where there's doubt, take this simple advice because it works every time. If you're in doubt, don't do it. Lastly, the seventh sin of leadership as a public servant, you need to know your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Every email and every text can and will be used against you in a court of law or the court of public opinion. Sometimes no response is the best response, and the delete key on your computer is better than the send key. To quote Ms. Burton, public servants must lead and serve with integrity, must lead and serve with honesty, and must lead and serve with transparency, because so many people are depending on you. I have no doubt that each member of the League's basic and advanced graduating classes will exhibit the 7 attributes of great leadership and avoid the 7 sins of leadership. Congratulations again to every member of these 2 classes for your efforts in achieving this goal. It required a lot of hard work and a lot of time to accomplish the completion of the program. Your constituents should be proud to have you as their mayors and council members. Thank you very much.
We're going to begin calling the names of our graduates and bring you up here to pick up your plaques in just a minute. But before we do, I'd like for each of you, if you would, just to give yourselves a round of applause for your accomplishment. We're going to start with the advanced awards. As your name is called, please come forward, get your award, step outside to get your photo made, and thank you again for being here. From Abbeville, Councilmember Terry Allums. From Ashford, Councilmember Carol Barfield. From Ashland, Mayor Larry Fettner. From Coling, Mayor William Burkhalter. From Gadsden, Councilmember Billy Harris. From Helena, Councilmember Chris Nelson. From Irondale, Mayor Tommy Joe Alexander. From Loxley, Councilmember Jeffrey Knight. From Millport, Councilmember Lane Gilliam. From Mount Vernon, Mayor James Adams. From Opp, Councilmember Bobby Ray Owens. From Oxford, Councilmember Philip Gardner. Also from Oxford, Councilmember Chris Berlin. From Ozark, Mayor Billy Blackwell. From Pinkard, Councilmember Norman McKnight. From Smith Station, Councilmember Richard Key. Also from Smith Station, Councilmember Morris Jackson. From Sylacauga, from Thomasville, Mayor Sheldon Day. Those who are not able to be here today are Andalusia Councilmember Terry Powell, Athens Mayor Ronnie Marks, Calera Councilmember David Bradshaw, Clay Mayor Charles Webster, Hartford Councilmember Ted Thompson, Irondale Mayor Tommy Joe Alexander, Jackson Mayor Richard Long, Jacksonville Councilmember Jerry Paris, Lynette Councilmember Shirley Motley, Aniana Mayor Ross Norris, Piedmont Councilmember Kenneth Kelly, Priceville Councilmember Donald Livingston, Rogersville Mayor Richard Hurston, Sheffield Councilmember Stephen Stanley, and from Sylacauga, Mayor Doug Murphy. Please give yourselves and those others a round of applause. We'd now like to recognize the basic graduates of the Certified Municipal Officials Program. From Adamsville, Councilmember Reginald Crawford. Also from Adamsville, Councilmember Steve Johnson. From Andalusia, Councilmember Ralph Wells. From Argo, Councilmember Betty Bradley. Also from Argo, Councilmember Ann Brown. From Bessemer, Councilmember Cleophas King. From Bolaji, Councilmember James Morrow. From Brent, Councilmember Tracy Sanders. From Brighton, Councilmember Joseph Edwards Sr. From Utah, Councilmember Joe Powell. Also from Utah, Councilmember Sheila Smith. From Glencoe, Councilmember Danny Wagnon. From Goodwater, Councilmember Sharon Hawkins. From Grimes, Councilmember Samuel Hollis. From Guin, Councilmember Kathy Alexander. From Jackson's Gap, Councilmember Felicia Edwards. From Lakeview, Councilmember Vivian Bean. Also from Lakeview, Councilmember Shannon Phillips. From Lisbon, Mayor Jason Ward. From Madison, Councilmember Timothy Holcomb. From Montgomery, Councilmember Jonathan Dow. From New Brockton, Mayor Catherine Holly. From Opp, Councilmember Arlen Davis Sr. From Opp, Councilmember Charles Booth. Also from Opp, Mayor John Bartholomew. Congratulations. And from Opp, Councilmember Mary Brundage. From Phoenix City, Councilmember Gail Head. From Phil Campbell, Mayor Steve Bell. From Saraland, Councilmember Wayne Biggs. From Satsuma, Councilmember James Butler. From Tallahassee, Councilmember Darrell Wilson. From Thorsby, Mayor Gene Nelson. From West Blockton, Councilmember Fred Lynch. Those who are not able to be with us, who are also graduating today, are from Argo Mayor Paul Jennings, Brundage Councilmember Stephen Coleman, Clay Councilmember Ben Thackerson, Grove Hill Councilmember Cynthia Jackson, Goodwater Councilmember Sharon Hawkins, Muscle Shoals Councilmember Neil Willis, Muscle Shoals Councilmember Alan Knowles, Tuscaloosa Councilmember Harrison Taylor, and Wedowee Councilmember Andrew J. Sims. Please give yourselves a round of applause and congratulations. This concludes this graduation ceremony. I do want to take a moment to thank the City of Montgomery for allowing us to use their wonderful building here. This is just a fantastic facility. Hope you'll make yourselves at home. Hope to be able to spend some time talking with each of you during the reception. And again, congratulations and thank you so much for your participation in this program.